So, no, I wouldn't say I have a passion for HR.
Welcome back to Human Resources for the People. It's a human capital revolution. This is answering Ask HR questions because I'm banned, part 21. Today we're going to be answering how you pay a dead person, how you handle a review that mentions FMLA in Colorado, and a employer who refuses to provide a copy of their termination papers from legal advice. So let's get right into it. Let's get started. The first one up, I think, is really interesting and one that many people don't know. It says, is the way my employer handled a deceased employee's last paycheck illegal or just unethical? My employer paid out a deceased employee's last paycheck in an unconventional, blatantly unethical, and possibly illegal way. They were told to not ask questions. The money was given back to the family by donating it through an online donation site, which made the net value less than the original amount. And the donation site is not in the direct relative's name. Doesn't really matter, frankly. But the answer is yes. It's illegal. The dead relative was not paid. The way that this works, the way that it should work is if the check is uncashed, meaning it didn't go to their bank account, you could either not stop it in time or whatever. The employer would then cancel the check, put a hold on it, and then after that, they would pay it to the 1099 set up for the estate. So this is really not an HR question for the most part. It's really a payroll question, I guess. But regardless, they would pay it to the estate. Now, oftentimes when these things happen, you can't catch it. They're just paid, and it is what it is. But in those times that you can catch it, the estate should hand over an identification number, and then it should be paid that way through a 1099. So it's really unique when this happens. It's kind of difficult to catch. Frankly, I've only caught like two in my career of losing employees, and it is fairly difficult. But that's how you handle it. The next one up is from Colorado, and it's called FMLA review, and they have approved FMLA. The manager rated them as inconsistent for teamwork because unplanned time off impacted sourcing, team operations, and dynamics. And so legally, I mean, she can mention this in the review. She just opens her up for all sorts of FMLA retaliation, all sorts of things. I mean, you can mention the pure mention of something is absolutely fine. It's all the impacts downstream. For example, if you didn't get a raise as a result of this review in teamwork, then that would be FMLA retaliation, and as a result, you would have a case to file. And it says, would I have grounds for legal action? Again, I mean, if you had some sort of detriment as a result of it that was more than just this review, yeah, probably. But the just the simple mentioning of it is not in and of itself illegal, but it's all the downstream. So if, for example, you got the same overall pay increase as everyone else, even though you had a lower rating in teamwork, what impact would that be, right? If you got as many promotions as you were supposed to, regardless of this rating, what are you going to sue for? What are you going what kind of legal action are you going to pursue? Now, the writer here, the original poster, doesn't actually say any of that, which is the only important thing, right? Reviews aren't that important. It's the monetary benefit for the most part. And this is the next most interesting thing is it says it's from legal advice rather than Ask HR, but it says company refusing to provide copy of termination paperwork. Uh, Papers have proof of wrongful termination and discrimination. Listen, let me tell you, 99.99999% of the people who say this, it does not have any of that proof at all. But regardless, it says they could change anything. As the title says, what can I do? They could change anything in that paperwork and are refusing to provide me a copy. I should add that I've signed these papers. So, how could they change it? I guess they could white it out or something. How are they supposed to change anything if you've signed it? Um, I'm sure that's somewhat possible, but they're not required to give you your quote unquote termination papers. I don't know what that means. I guess that means a discipline notice. And this is the biggest problem is that people think that they have rights to these things, but they really don't. That's a company copy. It's your word against theirs, and I really doubt again that it has proof of wrongful termination and discrimination. I'm sure that the original poster believes that they do, but in the court of law and everything else, I've just seen this happen too many times, and I don't really believe it. Well, that's all for Human Resources for the People. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye, guys.